lady gets millions of dollars in endorsements.
And if she doesn't, what do you blame, I wonder?
Blame
Joe?
it on the
She's
rain.
just entirely pleasant.
Joe, if you see me do this to you today during the show, that means I vehemently disagree with you, and I think you're a female body part.
Ooh, Josh Arnold.
Show that to me, will you, Kenny? So
Joe, I am rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant. That's the man.
Yes.
He brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1718.
Do not panic today.
Why is it she hitting a
Yeah, it was a crazy day.
Feb 17, 2026, 63 degrees on this day in 2017, 20 below on this day on two occasions, 1903 and 1936. And I have a note that the earliest 60 I can find would have occurred Sunday, Feb 15 in 1921. It was 63 degrees. Woo! I believe I cannot find an earlier 60 on the calendar.
Okay.
So if you go back to when I said the last one was, we really don't have a long distance between 60s in this state.
Let's keep them going right now.
Do yourself a favor. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Hi there. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Not too bad. I got a nice letter from Graham. Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you.
None of you were feeling it.
It's Fat Tuesday.
Joe, I read yet another article today about illegal immigrant truck drivers getting commercial driver's licenses and causing deaths on our country's highways. This one was in Indiana. Amid heightened concern over highway deaths involving illegal drivers, Senator Jim Banks, Republican Indiana, is launching a truck-safe tip line for truckers to share concerns about illegals on roads. I'm getting sick of hearing about these incidents, Graham writes, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Kenny knows a lot more about this issue than I do. Let me stop right there, Graham. I don't know why Kenny would know any more about it than you do. But I wanted to hark back to a time you mentioned on an episode a while back about having a car you bought online. I bought online, and delivered to your home. You mentioned these car hauler drivers are all from Russia. That's been my experience on two occasions that I've either had a car arrive or had one disappear.
Okay.
It was Russian guys.
Yeah.
I've since heard that most are from the country of Georgia, but close enough. Anyway, how many of them may be illegal versus legal? Who knows? What concerns me is that I have personal experience with one who delivered a collector car to me recently, rang the doorbell, and could not speak a word of English. I asked him something, and he had this blank look in his eyes, like, what are you saying? His accent was clearly Russian or Georgian when he mumbled something. Then he just handed me the keys and ran off quickly to his truck to go drop off the next car. What really honked me off was he left my car cockeyed in my driveway with a dead battery. The dealer I bought the car from later said, well, those guys are supposed to carry jumper starter boxes. Too bad for me. He was gone in a flash. Graham, you got to email me back. You got to tell me what we're talking about here. What kind of car?
Yeah,
now, what makes me wonder is this. Who gave this guy a commercial license? No idea if it was Minnesota or North Dakota where the car came from. Yes, older cars from there have no rust. It could have been California, Illinois, or wherever. Drivers are free to roam the country, but could this Ruski read road signs? What laws might he have broken during the 4-hour drive here? Should he even be in this country? If he got citizenship, why the bleep did he get it without being able to speak our language? That's a good point. The other problem here is that these freelance immigrant truckers are undercutting legitimate U.S. homegrown trucking businesses. The dealer I bought from chose the lowest bid for me, just trying to be helpful, and I ended up getting Joe Rusky. Here's the reason for me and GLers. Here's the lesson for me and GLers. Pay the higher price and support the good old USA boys. Well, that's funny he said that because in the likely event I'm going to require another car transported, I'm going expensive.
You're not going to lowball.
Because on both occasions I've had real serious disappointments. One, actually, both were sending cars away, and I felt for the people who were buying them, if that makes sense, because I didn't really care for the way they were being handled, and I didn't. They both got there, or I would have known by now, but I sure didn't like the way they were being handled. And one of them I wanted to put on the trailer myself, and the guy wouldn't let me.
Right.
He wouldn't let me. I have to do it. Okay, and he damn near burned out the clutch trying to get it on the truck.
Do not let
He didn't know what he was doing.
Dumb Frenchman on to.
Remember, we had a business idea. It was going to be made in the USA car delivery, where all of our drivers would be United States born.
I would love that.
And what's ironic, we both had the same kind of situation where they could not find the address of where they were supposed to pick the cars up, right? Yeah. And what's ironic is I used to be a courier when I was working in the real world, and all we had was a map book. And when all you have is a map book, it's helpful, but you can really screw up on occasion. With today's GPS and maps and Google Maps, how can you screw that up? You enter in an address and you go to it.
Well, I remember I'm telling you, the second time I had to load a car to be taken, this one was going to be taken to Tennessee, I had to go find the driver.
Yes, so did we.
I had to go find the driver.
Is this the guy at the McDonald's?
Yep. and then it was all he could do to get himself out of McDonald's because he had a big trailer in there. And I led him to my house, and he, too, handled it poorly. And he was showing me his phone. Everything was in Cyrillic language.
Yeah.
And, nice enough guy. I'm not saying that,
Right, but still.
But this is not a good... We need a born in the USA car delivery. How's that?
If you don't like America, then you can get it.
And a lot of these discussions that are going around the United States right now have nothing to do with Russians or car deliveries. It's the guys that are driving the 18-wheelers, and they're Muslim.
Yeah, I can say that I know nothing about that and have had no experience with it. Although as I get older and my freeway travel to Chicago and back, I've really noticed trucking behavior that didn't exist 15 years ago.
So take what you're seeing on the freeway now and imagine these guys trying to back into a very crowded dock situation. And the most often heard story I hear from truck drivers is they finally got out of their own truck, went over there, pulled the guy out of that truck, and backed it up to the dock for them, because if they didn't, they'd be sitting there all day. I mean, these are guys that have 7 attempts, and you still can't get it right.
You cannot pronounce the word Creek, but you have a very highly affected way of saying the word often. What the hell? It's often. There's no T in there that you have to hear. It's often.
There's another one I do during traffic reports that when I hear it, I laugh to myself.
You
I
can't
can't believe
even
I pronounce it.
Yamaha.
Yamaha?
And creek.
Yeah, another one I don't. Arctic Cat. I don't do Arctic.
You also
it's
call
Arctic
it
Cat.
a ditch pickle.
It's Arctic Cat.
I was in southern Minnesota over the extended holiday weekend.
I'm in southern Minnesota often, Chris.
Are you? And I watched a driver who was not from this country on 35 north of Albert Lee pull a U-turn. I'm not making it up.
No.
Oh.
Well, drivers cannot be from
On
this
the
country.
freeway.
That's fine. But you got to know what you're doing.
Right.
Joe Matthew used to live in Woodbury.
Oh, did he?
I loved Woodbury.
Woodbury.
I don't know of that place. I know of a Woodbury.
No, we lived in Woodbury.
But it is Bury, not Bery.
Yesterday, we had a bit of garage logic analysis of how Mysterian ideology results in a great many financial messes that we have to pick up. Mm-hmm. We have to clean up. And today, my eye was drawn to just a half dozen stories. I could have done them, well, nationally. Vermont taxpayers are on the hook for $8 million for electric buses that don't start in the cold. Okay, the electric buses were not needed. They're driven by an activist ideology that's predisposed to be against fossil fuel because they think that's injurious. It's not. It's a miracle. A gallon of gasoline is a miracle. It performs a miracle.
Yes.
But no, we have to have electric. So there again, the people who can least afford to, for example, people relying on the bus, are going to see their taxes go up in Vermont because they squandered $8 million on a couple of electric buses that don't work, and Vermont can get a cold winter. But that's just national. They're everywhere. Well, here's another national one. One teenager has been arrested in connection with what officials described as a senseless shooting that broke out in New York City as crowds of children gathered at a bus stop after school dismissal. One 16-year-old boy was killed. This was last Wednesday, occurred at the Kingsbridge section of the Bronx amid what officials and witnesses characterize as an escalating wave of violence in the borough, prompting affected family members to criticize Mayor Zoran Mamdani and law enforcement for not doing enough to keep New Yorkers safe. Authorities identified the slain victim as Christopher Redding, an aspiring football player at John F. Kennedy High School who sustained a gunshot wound to the back. According to a GoFundMe page, Redding was defending his friends who were being targeted by a group of individuals. And it goes on and on and on and on. But Mamdani is a Mysterian who holds law enforcement in contempt. That's an attitude we see here in Minneapolis. It's not going to be helpful. And not only do we have to clean up the messes that results in financially, but it's hurting the people who Mysterians pretend to be championing. It's hurting the people most who don't have a lot of money to escape these problems. Mm-hmm. Now, here we have, again, according to the Minneapolis Times, yesterday I read you a couple of notices from city council members to their constituents, Chugtai and Wansley. Right. They don't want ICE to exist. Here's Jason Chavez. I am proud of you and our immigrant residents. You're resilient, on and on and on. I will be thankful to the people who patrolled, observed, and supported our community. Okay, that's great. But then he gets to this point. He gets to this point in his message. In fact, he concludes with, continue to patrol, observe, and support your neighbors. A recovery package, this is what he wants, a recovery package that includes support for small businesses and impacted neighbors who are facing hardship. Check me if I'm wrong, Larry, but during the height of the ICE anarchy here, didn't the businesses themselves, perhaps motivated by their worthies on the city council, didn't they all close?
Yeah.
And weren't they advised to close and shamed if they did not?
Not only shamed, they were intimidating those that did decide to stay open.
And now here's Chavez, who wants a recovery package that, again, the taxpayers will have to provide to help the businesses who said, we'll show you, we're going to close and not make any money. It made no sense to me at the time, and it makes no sense to me now. Continuing with Chavez. No funding for ICE, the repeal of the Laken-Riley Act, and the complete abolition of the system. So like Wansley, like Chugtai, like the other Marxist socialists who are going to lead us to ruin, they don't want any immigration enforcement. I can only conclude logically that means they don't want borders.
But
it's a free-for-all country to them.
Jeez.
there's one thing, and maybe I'm interrupting and you'll get to it. The Lake and Riley Act is a federal law.
Right. They want it rescinded.
Well, who cares what they want?
Right.
That's like little kids playing in the backyard telling mom and dad what. No, who cares what they want? It's a federal law. Just shut your mouths.
Well, I can tell you the sin they find in the Lake and Riley law is that the Lake and Riley law is the immediate throwing in jail of a thief, a robber, a rapist, a murderer, whatever. Just minor stuff like
Seems
that.
reasonable to me.
But
I don't know.
It seems reasonable to me, but what they're complaining about is they think due process will be trampled upon.
I thought their biggest point was of discrimination. Isn't that their main point with rejecting that?
That too.
It's
Or
a
they
bunch
feel
of
as
children on a city council rebelling, passing something. What do they think they're going to pass? A resolution. What does that mean? Opposing a federal law.
Today, Minneapolis City Council to debate stance on federal immigration enforcement and local business impact. Now, when you hear about this, I don't know if there are enough people in Minneapolis to wake up. See, here's the problem. The people in Minneapolis, as yet unaffected by a Marxist socialist city council, have enough money currently where they're not affected by it. A, you ultimately will be affected by it. And B, the people that you think care about people don't. Mysterians do not care about the very people who voted for them. The Mysterians don't care because the people who voted for you cannot afford your ideology. Whether the Mysterians like it or not, the country still runs on a capitalist system. So long as it does, everything you propose can only result in trouble and unaffordability for the people you think you're representing. It doesn't work. It can't work. Now here's the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting today to come up with money to give to the people, mostly small business, who were hurt by the presence of ICE and also hurt by you idiots telling them to close their businesses in an act of solidarity. You're nuts.
There's actually 3 prongs in their misguided thrust today.
Well, I got them here.
The third
Number one, resolution imposing immigration enforcement funding. They don't want to fund it.
That's the Lake and Riley Act. Yes.
Number 3 is my favorite one. And
yeah, that's the one I can't wait for you to get to.
It really rests my case.
I'm chomping at the
I
bit.
know. Settle down there, Larry. Number 2, Minneapolis Small Business Resiliency Fund, where they're going to propose a general appropriation resolution to redistribute downtown assets funds towards a small business resiliency fund. Okay. Your ideology only hurts those small businesses. And ultimately, it's going to hurt everyone because you're creating a city too unattractive to work in. You're not going to have Fortune 500 companies that want to locate here. You have no wisdom in the way things work. You only have an ideology. Number 3, the council will receive and file public comments regarding the liquor license renewals for 2 prominent downtown hotels, the Depot Minneapolis Renaissance Hotel and the Canopy by Hilton. These renewals were previously delayed following reports that the hotels provided lodging for U.S. and immigration enforcement agents. The ideology compelled these morons to threaten these hotels with their liquor license. Now, just break that down logically. A, it's not their business who they rent a room to.
Right.
B, it's not the city council's business to determine who you can rent a room to. See, if you're successful in depriving hotels of liquor licenses, then what is the fallout effect on the liquor business? What is the fallout effect of a guy who works at a liquor warehouse, loads the semis go around and make their distribution? What about the guys that are in the semis and they go around and make the distribution? They have families. They work for a living.
Well, that's evil capitalism,
The
Joe.
guy back at the warehouse, he's making a living because he's got his wheeled dolly and he's got, what do we need? We got 4 cases going to the canopy. Okay, load that up, and then on and on and on and on. Then you got the clerks in the liquor stores. You got the people who work in breweries. You got the people who work in distilleries. That's the way a capitalist system would work. Their ideology comes in, and they just think the liquor will continue to materially make itself and get distributed. We just don't want you to take it to these hotels. They don't factor in what that will cost the business of making alcohol.
Domino effect. Or trickle down.
It's
Butterfly.
hopeless to have these people running the city. It's completely hopeless. I just gave it to you.
There,
Could it also include things like just food delivery, food and beverage beyond liquor?
Of course.
What about linen supply?
Of course.
So it could be every aspect of these businesses that the city somehow has oversight on.
Restaurant supply firms that supply plates and spoons and coffee cups and coffee makers and what have you. Everything down the line.
See, they're misguided. They think they're just harming the hotel. How do they not realize they're harming the city of Minneapolis? They're harming how do they not see everything you just brought up?
Because they have no experience in working. They only have experience
In
drilled into
activism.
them at the failed academy. They've never worked. They don't understand how it works. Here's an example. This is a great one. It circles around the internets, but I can make it a local example. If a luxury yacht firm decided to locate a manufacturing facility in Minneapolis, and their yachts sold for a minimum of $2 million, and yet they located here because they've identified candidates for their yachts and
millionaires per capita.
and they would like to provide them the yachts. Robin Wands, and if it was going to be in the city of Minneapolis, but this is all never going to happen, especially now with these people running the show. But let's say it happened, and the luxury manufacturer of yachts, the manufacturer of luxury yachts located in Minneapolis, they would be opposed by Robin Wansley, Chugtai, this Chavez phony, the rest of them, because all they would see is the word luxury. So what they would not grasp is, well, the guy who makes the canvas for all the upholstery and the bimini tops and everything else that goes on the luxury yacht, they're employed and they pay taxes. They have a job. The people who put the engines together have really good jobs in mechanical shops. The people who lay the fiberglass are artisans and they know how to do it, and they're all employed and they have families and they send their kids to school and they make their living and pay taxes. And the people who make the trailers are also involved, and the people who make propellers, and the people who make instruments, and the people who make steering wheels and spotlights and light lenses, and on and on and on and on. They would be providing, a luxury yacht manufacturer provides the old thing I've seen on the internet is, somebody goes up to a guy with a $2 million yacht in Fort Lauderdale at Pier 66, and of course it's a prematurely gray-haired 42-year-old woman, and she lashes out at the owner. Don't you think that yacht would have paid a lot of fed a lot of people for the $2 million you paid? And the owner said, "Let me see. It provided food for the people who created the hull. It provided food for the people who created the engine. It provided food for people who created the instruments. It provided food for the people who created the upholstery and the canvas tops, and on and on and on and on." That's what they don't get, because they don't like capitalism. They don't like the marketplace because they deem it unfair.
They would say, it's time for us to introduce a wealth tax.
Yeah.
That's
so
working out
Minneapolis, there's no use trying to beat around the bush anymore. It's St. Paul too. The cities are not going to survive this kind of kind of political ideology. They just can't. Unless the mystery wins and it's just we're completely done, and then everyone can share their misery equally.
Yeah. And then demand a bailout.
Right. But there'll be nobody left to provide the bailout.
Right.
Kenny's Plywood City is going to charge $100 for every sheet of 4x8 plywood that you board up the windows with.
How about the loggers who provide the teak and the mahogany for the luxury yacht?
That argument sounds a lot like the fossil fuel argument. Mm-hmm. People that don't like fossil fuels until they find out that fossil fuels are in absolutely everything you use, or the animal rights people that find out, oh my God, my shoes have leather in them. What?
Right. Can you replay? I think we can do it if we haven't. Don't worry, Chris. We got nothing but time. It's a podcast. Can you replay? Can you find the Billy Bob Thornton speech he gave on season 1 in Landman? It's all over the internet. I
used to have it saved.
Where
Chris.
the very smug lawyer who's been hired to work for the oil firm, and of course she's a euphoria, and as the season goes on, by the way, she becomes a greater and greater character. But in season 1, Billy Bob Thornton, what's his name in the show? Tommy Norris. Okay. Tommy Norris. He's a landman, which means he's an oil guy.
I've heard you talk about this.
And he takes this attorney out to an oil rig and gives her one of the great lectures of all time. Because
I think it's a windmill.
It's a solar farm or something.
Yeah,
I think you can find it.
You can throw your phone away and trade that Mercedes in for a bicycle or a horse and start hunting for your own food and living in a tent. But you'll be the only one, and it won't make a damn bit of difference. Plus, I hear the moral high ground gets real windy at night.
Why new pumps? What's wrong with these?
You mean wells? Too shallow.
How deep do they need to be?
Dale?
Between 10 and 13,000 feet. But you got to drill at an angle, and then you got to frack it.
Frack it.
You shoot a shit ton of salt water down hole, and you squeeze all that oil out of the fractures. Then you pump it up, separate the water. Technology, it changed the game out here.
Yeah, isn't this the technology that's causing earthquakes in Oklahoma?
There were earthquakes in Oklahoma before fracking, ma'am.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Tommy!
Yeah.
Look, you understand, I don't think anyone should be doing this, all right? I think it should be illegal.
Well, then you should have run for Congress instead of getting a job with an oil company.
I have a very hard time advocating for something I believe is wrong.
Says the lawyer. Good and bad don't factor into this, Rebecca. Our great-grandparents built a world that runs on this shit right here. Until it starts running on something else, we gotta feed it. Or the world stops.
I think you might have missed something.
This isn't the one. I'm sending you one right now, Chris.
Yeah, at the beginning, he lists
they're in a truck.
All the things that oil are in, including your shoelaces. It's wonderful. We'll take a break, though.
Why don't you tell us about Bradshaw and Bryant?
Well, they're the best, Bradshaw and Bryant. Don't get into an accident. If you do, you're going to need a team. Let Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant put a team together to help you through that meeting with the insurance companies, which can often be confusing. For 6 consecutive years, Mike Bryant has been recognized as a super lawyer. He's been named among Minnesota's top 40 personal injury lawyers by Minnesota Law and Politics. And them people is the Bible. I hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Your case evaluation, of course, will not cost you a thing. And don't be part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
Kenny, where am I supposed to cue this up? I'm sorry.
There's just some silence as they're driving in a truck and they approach one of these windmills.
Okay.
And Tommy starts talking about the concrete and all the money that was spent to put up the windmill. It's so funny.
We got an F word in here, but I queued it up for after that part. Is that where you want? Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, here we go, Billy Bob. Here we go.
Or winterize it, and its 20-year lifespan, it won't offset the carbon footprint of making it. And don't get me started on solar panels and the lithium in your Tesla battery. And never mind the fact that if the whole world decided to go electric tomorrow, we don't have the transmission lines to get the electricity to the cities. It'd take 30 years if we started tomorrow. And unfortunately for your grandkids, we have a 120-year petroleum-based infrastructure. Our whole lives depend on it. And hell, it's in everything. That road we came in on, the wheels on every car ever made, including yours, it's in tennis rackets and lipstick and refrigerators and antihistamines, pretty much anything plastic. Your cell phone case, artificial heart valves, any kind of clothing that's not made with animal or plant fibers, soap, fucking hand lotion, garbage bags, fishing boats, you name it. Every fucking thing. And you know what the kicker is? We're gonna run out of it before we find its replacement.
It's the thing that's gonna kill us all. As a species.
No, the thing that's gonna kill us all is running out before we find an alternative. And believe me, if Exxon thought them fucking things right there were the future, they'd be putting them all over the goddamn place.
That's
all
all
right.
right. It's fine. It's fine.
We get her.
We get it.
Yeah.
Well, he's right.
We frickin' get it.
I don't feel so bad about what I said Friday.
No.
Thank you, John. You're
But
right.
here's the deal. She plays. I'd like to. Boy, would Taylor Sheridan be fun to talk to? He writes that. He
wants to get him.
He wrote Yellowstone, and boy, he's taking his shots where he can find him. That's rare in that industry, where he's not so woke.
Taylor loves Taylor.
Well, Joe, he's not. If you read an interview with him, I don't think he's what you think he is.
Yeah,
Let's put
he's
it that
not.
way.
Well, he's a good
He's
writer.
interested in making money.
He's a great writer.
Hell of a writer.
He has some beliefs that you may not believe.
Okay. All right.
Shouldn't be there. He's very logical, I think. I mean, he's he's
well,
well-rounded.
all that Tommy Norris is saying there is all logic.
Yeah, he's a very well-rounded guy. Sure.
No, what's going to kill us is running out of the alternative.
Yep.
That's what'll kill us. But see, there's a very bright an actress playing a very bright attorney, right? And see, that creates a conundrum. If that attorney lived on Lake of the Isles, is she voting for Robin Wansley and Aisha Chugtai and Jason Chavez because she buys their ideology? Doesn't she understand the irony of her own misguided thinking?
That's too deep.
This lawyer in the show gets turned around, but it's just a show. It's not real life. So it's a conundrum. But anyway, back to the luxury yacht manufacturer. A, they won't locate here. And B, if they did, they'd be vilified by the people you have running this city because they don't know how things work. They just don't get it. Did you want to take a timeout?
No, we got our ad in. That's all I wanted you to do was just get an ad in.
Well, back to this because there's much more. I just couldn't help keep finding these things. Where's this one? Oh, yeah, this one's business associations and their legislative representatives asks as Minnesota grapples with economic losses following Operation Metro Surge. See, we've gotten to the point where an economic loss is something Mysterians believe should be shared by everyone.
Well, that's how socialism works, right?
Yes, but they're missing the part where they don't realize how they've contributed to the economic loss. They're creating the environment in which all of us end up responsible for paying for it. So we've gotten to the point now where they're excited because the legislative session is opening today, and this opens up the new arena of asking for more money to cover the mistakes they've all made. This is insanity.
That's not what I want this session to be about. We've got real issues.
We've got real issues, but the Euphorians and the Mysterians are all excited because a new trough has opened its door again for a new season. And we can go in and start asking for all the money we've caused small businesses to lose because we won't share any information with federal law enforcement agencies.
A fresh pile of money.
That whole fraud thing isn't even a bump in the road for them.
Kenny, loyal town council member Shannon has an email regarding Kenny's Plywood City.
Yeah.
$100 per sheet would be a bargain right now when the riots kicked off in 2020.
$1,000 a sheet, Shannon.
In 2020, we paid $130 per sheet, and don't forget to adjust for inflation.
How
I know,
big is the
Shannon.
sheet? How big is the sheet?
It's 4x8.
Fits in a station wagon.
Well,
an American station
crooked,
wagon
yeah.
from the 60s.
Yeah.
Like Clark Griswold
Yeah,
style?
yeah, a vacation mobile.
I know, Shannon. Shannon, let's start a business.
Plywood City.
She's a good GO.
What did a sheet of plywood cost before George Floyd?
I bought some board for $9 a sheet, I think.
Oh, come on. How did it go from $9 to $100? Well, we need.
It was OSB because I bought it at an auction for less than retail, and I think I paid $8 or $9 a sheet.
Well, you were buying used plywood.
Brand new plywood at a lumberyard that was going out of business.
I'll be damned.
And I think right now isn't OSB right around $10, $11?
What's
I'll
OSB?
look it up. It's that pressed plywood.
Oh, that stuff made out of corn kernels or something?
It's wood, but hold on.
Made
Just
out
let
of
me look it up.
cloth.
OSB Home Depot.
Yeah. Here we go. We're going to get the price in case people want to get in
OSB
there.
today is stock
Matthew, how'd you beat me?
43.13.
No, that can't be.
Nordberg Inc. stock price today. How much is an 8x4 sheet of OSB? This is London.
$13.48.
Yeah.
Starting the low prices. Here's
Rookie
one
looked it
for
up at
10.
Rumples.
It's only basic garage logic to understand how the people in Minneapolis are not benefiting the city, the politicians. It's only logical. Restaurants and hotels, some reporting 50% drop in revenue. Others have closed altogether. Who's this from? The hospitality industry has been heaviest hit, said Adam Dunnick, the president and CEO of the Minneapolis Downtown Council. Now, in the real world, the guy who's the president and CEO of the Minnesota Downtown Council, he's even been sucked into the problem because he's now having to lobby on behalf of the failures for more money, but the failures were brought about by the Mysterian Ideology. So what does that mean? See, no, a real challenge. We're not going to have strong. Dunnick says we're not going to have a strong region or a greater Minnesota or the rest of the state without a strong Minneapolis. You're not, but you're losing Minneapolis. Both St. Paul and Minneapolis are a shadow of what they used to be before they were taken over by socialists.
Yep. And Minneapolis even more so because it's bigger.
So
Okay, you just lost me, Joe. I'm turning in my resignation right now. I just ordered 100 sheets of OSB for $1,000, $1,058, which Shannon and I are going to sell for $125 each. Chris, what's the math on that? 1,000 sheets of plywood at $125.
$125,000. You don't really,
Shannon,
even I could do that.
you should find a new vacation home because we are going to be rich. We are going to be rich bitches. Woo-hoo.
Why don't we go take a little time out here, huh?
Let's talk about North American Banking Company
Speaking of
first
money.
before we do that, Joe. Save up all your money for your plywood and invest with North American Banking Company, who has been doing it since 1998. And way back when, they wanted to create a better banking experience for you, for your family, and also for your business. And they've been successful at doing that. Whoa, hey, I almost went Johnny Heidt on that one there. But see it for yourself. Check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. And it doesn't matter what you're looking to do for your personal finance, for your business, whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or even Get that new car that you've been dreaming about and stocking up on plywood. Their experts make it easy. But once again, see it for yourself today. It's nabankco.com with 6 easy and convenient Twin Cities locations to serve you. You can see it for yourself. nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Annie.
Don't lose.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Something's going to happen coming down in this world pretty soon. Never mind guns, money, gold. You're going to need something to hide all the toilet paper in, and that's where I can help you out. If you've been thinking about getting a safe or upgrading your security measures, great news for you right now, and I'm going to save you some money. Our GL marketing partners, Maple Grove Lock and Safe, they're going to be at the Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic coming this weekend at the Minneapolis Convention Center. It runs Friday through Sunday, and they are offering 10% off on all Liberty safes. Rich, the owner of Maple Grove Lock and Safe, he always has a sale going on for specific Liberty safes. And that's at his shop in Maple Grove. But this weekend, it's different. The 10% off sale is for all models that Liberty makes. We're talking from level 1, they're rated 40-minute fire protection models, all the way up to the incredible level 7 rated 2-hour fire protection models. This is a big deal. The Liberty Safe, of course, the best fire protection in the business. All safes are made right here in the USA. They all come with a fully transferable lifetime warranty. Think about that a second. Fully transferable lifetime warranty. No matter who you sell it to, that warranty's still in place. And you can get professional delivery and installation, so you don't have to lug that thing out of the convention center. Again, 10% off Liberty Safe models this weekend at the Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic at the Minneapolis Convention Center. For the full lineup of all Liberty Safes, go to the website, maplegrovelockandsafe.com.
I want to finish something before we get to Johnny. I was telling you about the City Council Minneapolis meeting today. They're going to discuss, we went through this, but I missed 2. We're discussing a resolution opposing immigration enforcement funding. We're proposing a small business resiliency fund because you told businesses to close. We're questioning liquor license renewals for certain hotels because you're going to determine who should stay there or not. But there are 2 more. Advocacy groups and some community members have called for the licenses to be scrutinized or denied, arguing that businesses cooperating with ICE are acting in opposition to Minnesota's sanctuary city values and policies. Well, those values and policies are going to contribute to the ruin of the city. And finally, industry advocates and legal experts express concern that the city may be overstepping its licensing authority by using it as a tool for political leverage. You think? There are also concerns regarding the potential for litigation against the city and the economic impact on hotel staff and the broader hospitality sector if the licenses are withheld based on the identity of the hotel's guests. In other words, I think what the Council of the Whole did is they identified the 3 things they're going to be weighing in on today. That meeting started at 9:30 this morning. And they also acknowledge that if there's any public in the pews, they're worried about what I just wrote about. So you have there's really not much more to say on this. If you follow the logic of what they're up to, there isn't any, and the city will continue to suffer. Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. One quick sports note. It's not a good one.
We're gonna win, Twins.
What happened?
One day after the Twins' first full squad spring training workout, the Minnesota Twins have already suffered a serious injury blow.
Pablo?
Yep.
Pablo is expected, that'd be Pablo Lopez, the ace of the staff, expected to miss the entire 2026 season due to significant tearing of his UCL.
He had a little soreness in his elbow yesterday. They put him in an MRI, and this is what they found?
Lopez left his workout early on Monday, Joe, and an MRI.
Monday.
MRI confirmed the tear, according to General Manager Jeremy Zoll. Zoll didn't officially rule Lopez out, saying the team's ace is seeking a second opinion, but noted season-ending elbow surgery is an option. The 29-year-old Lopez is entering his 4th season with the Twins, was also set to pitch for Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic. In his 3 years as a Twin, he's gone 31-22, posting a 3.68 ERA with 505 strikeouts across 455 innings. He was also very good in the 2023 postseason, throwing 12 2/3 innings while allowing just 1 run en route to 2 Twins wins.
What does he
in
make?
the playoffs.
I'd like to ask Pablo a question. Did you play catch this winter? Did you just show up at camp and start throwing 100 miles an hour?
Yep.
Did you build up to this?
You're very outraged.
No, that was their only shot.
Yeah, in fact, Johnny and I were talking about this. The one thing to look forward that was, you were expected to look forward to was pitching.
A win every 4 days, maybe.
Right.
But seriously, all of October, November, December, and January, didn't he bother to maybe see if he was throwing okay?
The problem is a lot of these guys were coming in early because of the World Baseball Classic, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the last World Baseball Classic we will have.
That doesn't excuse my concern. World Baseball Classic or not.
No, I'm answering your question.
Did he just come to camp and start throwing heat for after a 4-month layoff?
Yes.
That's stupid.
Well,
it used to be.
That's what I just said.
It used to be 3 days of Wablo and let's hope for Pablo.
Okay,
Wasn't it like that?
No.
Jeez.
What is Wablo?
I don't know.
I don't know. It rhymes with Pablo.
Yeah. See, with Saint,
John, continue, please.
Saint and Spawn Rooks, he's saying
Got it.
It rhymed with rain.
And pray for rain.
Pablo signed a 4-year, $73 million contract with the Twins, including $1 million signing bonus, $73.5 guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $18.3.
So what?
million.
He didn't work out in October.
Guaranteed money, Padro.
That's what I mean. But I don't want to sit and talk baseball.
I don't either. I have news to get to.
That's what you.
Sports talk.
That's what you get when you sign pitchers. You take that chance, just like the Yankees with Garrett Cole. He missed,
If I was a major league general guy, manager guy, I would stop that trend.
So
you're
you
not
wouldn't have any.
going to.
You wouldn't have any pitching. In other words,
Nope.
You'll lose a
We'd
lot of
all have
games.
catchers.
What would be the rookie business model
Oh,
of being a
God.
Major League Baseball general manager?
They're going to have it coming up. There won't be a 27 season.
No pitchers.
There won't be a 27 season.
Nope.
Boy, we better quit talking sports at this point. In news, the new legislative session began at the state capitol today with a tribute to late House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, the two killed in what law enforcement has called a politically motivated attack during a home invasion in June. Hortman's seat will remain empty throughout the session, marked by a photo and a flower as a memorial. DFL House Leader Zach Stevenson said it will not only be a tribute to Hortman, but will serve as a reminder of the dangers of heated rhetoric and misinformation. Federal prosecutors have announced 5 convictions in connection with a drug trafficking ring that has been linked to one of the largest and most powerful drug cartels in the world. U.S. Attorney's Office's 47-year-old Eric Rodriguez became the 5th conviction after a jury found him guilty of conspiracy to distribute meth and drug possession last week. Eric Aguilar, Juan Elvira, Eduardo Gonzalez, and Bruce Orton have already pleaded guilty in their cases. Prosecutors say the group led by Mexican national Aguilar distributed meth throughout Minnesota from April 2024 to March 2025, sometimes moving hundreds of pounds at a time across state lines. Altogether, investigators seized about 60 pounds of meth, 1,500 fentanyl pills, and more than $20,000 from people connected to the organization. According to prosecutors, evidence has linked the Diaz-Aguilar drug trafficking organization to the Sureños street gangs and the Sinaloa cartel, a notorious transnational operation.
Jay and I are working on lining up somebody to talk about this very subject in the coming weeks and how this has affected the flow of drugs in the Twin Cities, if at all. It's just finding the right person, the right person to talk to. So it's an interesting topic.
Bloomington police say a man who's been doing background checks for ICE during the federal government's immigration enforcement crackdown has now been charged with being among people snared in a prostitution sting in Bloomington. 36-year-old Brashad Johnson of St. Michael was charged in Hennepin County District Court yesterday with a gross misdemeanor count of trying to hire a woman for sex. Police Chief Booker Hodges said Johnson worked for the Defense Department doing security clearance for federal agencies. Hodges said at a news conference, it's a most disturbing arrest that we've had here. He's a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland Security, and federal agencies. So when you're getting your security clearance, this is one of the guys that does your backgrounds, which is kind of scary.
Oh, sorry, John.
Booker Hodges should run the FBI.
No nonsense.
If the FBI ran as efficiently as Bloomington does, Booker Hodges would have it under control.
You know, as John was doing that story, it made me think this has happened in Bloomington a couple of times. Is it because of the police force or the close proximity with the airport?
I think it's a location problem.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
The strip hotels.
Gotcha.
National Bass Fishing Championship event coming to Minnesota this summer. The Bass Anglers Sportsman Society announced yesterday that the 2026 Strike King Bassmaster College Championship will be held at Leech Lake, August 20th through the 22nd.
Oh, cool.
It's the first time the collegiate event is being held at Leech Lake. Bemidji previously hosted the College Series National Championship in 2017. The lake, about 200 miles north of the Twin Cities, is Minnesota's third largest fully in-state lake, spans about 112,000 acres. It's known as a world-class walleye fishery, but also has a growing largemouth and smallmouth bass population. As part of the summer event, college anglers from across the country will come to Minnesota to compete for a national title. More tournament details are scheduled to be announced at a later time.
Does LD have a role in something like that?
No.
No? Okay.
Is this going to be a drunken, insane event like
No.
Eel Pout Fest?
No. This is collegiate.
So it won't be any fun.
These are scholarship fishing. This is scholarship.
For the smelt run, they're running.
This is the real deal.
A couple of concert
So is the Eel
announcements.
Pout Fest. Come
No,
on,
it isn't.
man.
No, that's just a winter carnival.
A couple of concert announcements for the Twin Cities. Bruce Springsteen kicking off a new U.S. concert tour with a show at the Target Center March 31st. So far, 20 concerts on the Springsteen and E Street Band itinerary. Tickets go on sale for the concert at Target Center Friday at noon. And a good one for baby boomers and fans of classic rock. Santana and the Doobie Brothers play the new Mystic Lake Amphitheater.
Oh, that'll be a
Thursday.
good show.
Oh, yeah. Thursday, August 27th. Pre-sales of tickets already happening, but the regular ticket sales start this Friday.
You seen Santana live, Johnny?
I've seen Santana 3 times. First time in 1978. Killer show.
I bet.
Every time I've seen him.
Were you tripping balls, Johnny?
I was not tripping balls on any of them, Kenny.
Oh,
Maybe a beer or two at them, but that's about it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, the Doobies.
you're a
are
real
just-
stuffed shirt, aren't you?
I just saw the Doobies a couple
Tucking her
years
in,
ago.
isn't he?
The Doobies opened for Steely Dan here about 3 years ago. I saw them there. So, yeah.
I'm excited for that new amphitheater. I think that's going to be cool.
Where's it at?
Right outside of Canterbury.
Huh. Outside?
Yeah.
That's why
Ain't
it's
got
an
no roof on it?
amphitheater. That's why they call it that.
Okay.
How many Doobie Brothers are still original?
I don't know, man.
Tom Johnston and Pat Simmons, the two important ones, Rook, are still original. They're the two guys that sang everything. And,
Okay.
Why are you
and-
ripping Michael McDonald?
Well, hang on.
Oh.
Michael McDonald also is. And Michael McDonald wouldn't be an original Doobie Brother,
That's
Chris.
true.
He
That's
joined,
true.
He joined 5 years in.
What about the skunk, John?
The skunk is not there. He does not tour with the Doobie Brothers anymore. He tours with his own little combo. And
Well, he
does
was always
small shows.
outspoken. Very much
he
so,
work-
wasn't he?
He
Yeah,
works
is
for
he
the
working for
CIA
Trump?
or
Talking
something.
about.
John, is he working for Trump?
Not that I know.
Probably
He hasn't-
working for
he hasn't-
NASA.
He hasn't had anything to do with politics or the government in about 10 years.
Didn't he
It's been a
invent
while.
radar or something? He
No. Jesus.
Wasn't he the guy in charge
John,
of bootlegging?
John, we're casting
Oh, are
at
you guys
John.
fishing again? And I'm not
Yeah,
realizing
he
it.
was in
Yes,
charge
you
of illegal bootlegging.
Yeah, he was
right.
very
You're
outspoken on
chasing every
piracy.
hook
No,
down
he
there.
taught Elon Musk everything he knows.
Oh, I get Chris's reference now. Thank you, Chris. That was
Yeah.
a good joke, and I missed it.
You're all right.
Hey.
Yep, there you go. Rook.
See, he
in
was
on it,
featured,
too.
Joe, on one of the fine television episodes of What's Happening.
What's happening?
The whole,
John,
the whole,
you got more going here?
the whole
Fred
band
Berry.
was. Let me explain. The whole band was. It was a show about piracy.
Fred Berry thought it was cool.
John,
That was back
You're
in
so
the,
easy, John.
back
You're
in
so
the
fun.
70s.
Rerun
Back in
could
the
dance, though, man.
John, do you have
Playing
more
you
news?
like a banjo,
I
my
have
friend.
more news, but before we get to it,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you more about. No, I'm not. I'm going to ask Chris Reavers to perhaps pass some information along to us.
I am going to pass along a phone number and a website of someone you need to get in contact with right away, and that's Linda Keller and KellerTaxService.com. You can book your appointment online or call her directly at 320-352-0013. Ladies and gentlemen, February is already more than half over. Get your butt on that schedule now before she fills up. And then don't come crying and whining to me when you forgot to book your appointment. I've been telling you about Linda Keller and Keller Tax Service for a number of years right now. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. She handles all types of returns for all types of people and businesses all throughout the great U.S. of A. So it doesn't matter if you live in Phoenix or Alaska, doesn't matter. Linda Keller will take care of you. 320-352-0013. And as long as you're going on that website at kellertaxservice.com, you can see every single piece of updated tax information. Her website is phenomenal. But see it for yourself, kellertaxservice.com. Book your appointment with our gal Linda. And please do me a favor and mention that you heard about her here on the Garage Logic podcast. John.
Thank you, Chris. I'm going to tell you one more thing about Jeff Baxter, whether you guys want to know it or not.
I do want to know it.
In the 1990s, when I was writing pretty much monthly for Vintage Guitar Magazine, I interviewed Jeff.
Oh,
this
cool.
is before it was known that he did all the stuff with the Pentagon, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And he spieled everything to me, just told me everything, which was fascinating to hear. It was usually those interviews I do would take 20 minutes to a half hour. I talked to him for about 2.5 hours.
What was it? It was some kind of techno. Well, do you remember what it was he
Yeah,
did?
he
He wrote
was-
a letter or a paper or something.
He wrote a letter to a congressman who then referred him to the Defense Department. And his main claim to fame is he ended up taking part in war games, and he was always the enemy. And he always defeated the Pentagon in these war games.
He invented bullets.
No. Anyway, back to my story. He was going to put together a run for Congress in California. And he asked if he could use everything I wrote, which I was honored, obviously. I said yes. The magazine said yes. But then he got back to me and he said, I've decided not to run. I said, well, can I ask why? You kind of make sense. And he said, because there's two reasons. He said, I'm not, everybody's going to think I'm a conservative. He said, which I am militarily. He said, but socially, I'm very much a liberal. And he said, I have some things in my past where I may have used illicit substances.
Really?
He
I bet that would be a problem.
And that was the late 90s, so it would have been a bigger problem. Obviously now it's no big deal. But.
Since we're on the subject, and I'll never get a chance to ask you again, I've seen him on a Linda Ronstadt live song. Maybe, I don't remember what it was for, but he's playing the tambourine.
No, he's playing congas.
Oh, the Congo drums.
Yep.
Why? Why? It's such an accomplished guitar player. Why was he playing those?
Because he wanted a gig at the time. It was shortly after the Steely Dan thing.
Yeah.
You know, Steely Dan broke themselves up. Fagan and Becker didn't want to tour, so they said, see you guys. You're all fired, basically. Yep. So in between gigs, he worked with Linda Ronstadt doing that. He also played guitar with her on some stuff.
Okay.
But she had an excellent, you remember Andrew Gold, killer guitar player. So,
okay, that's enough.
Joe.
And
My
then,
God, it's fascinating. Let him go.
Oh, you know what? Baxter's funny looking.
Yeah, we got to move on.
He's not very handsome.
Joe, have you looked in a mirror lately, Joe?
Whoa, singer!
He's funny looking.
Anyway, Jeff Baxter.
Well, that was
Stunk.
fun, John.
John, when you did write for Vintage Guitar, no, serious question, was it difficult or was it easy for guys to do interviews with you because you were so guitar-y?
Was it easy on their part?
No, I mean, were they willing to do that right away? Or
I did 300-400 interviews. I never met anybody who was crabby.
Oh.
I met guys who were shy. You know, you remember Big Head Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd Parkmore, I interviewed him. Very quiet. Not mean. He just didn't want to talk about himself.
Chris, I saw their very first show in Minneapolis at the
Attaboy.
Uptown Bar.
How many
Me and
people?
about 10 other people.
Yeah, less than a dozen.
You want to go down that road? Who was Big Head Todd's buddy when they would play the Basilica Block Party?
That was after my time.
The rector of the cathedral, Michael O'Connell.
Oh, Father Michael O'Connell.
He was a
that's right.
buddy of Todd.
Todd Parkmore. Todd
My
Moore
best
Park.
Big Head Todd show was the night we went to Frank Sinatra, and I had just the right amount of every kind of chemical you can imagine in me. And it was it's still the most memorable night of my life for Frank Sinatra and Big Head Todd. And then hijinks afterwards.
That first Big Head Todd album's pretty good. All right, we'll stop talking music now. Let's go to national and international news. Tributes coming in for the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died overnight in Chicago. He was 84. As a young organizer in Chicago, Jackson was called to meet with Martin Luther King at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis shortly before King was killed, and he publicly tried to position himself thereafter as King's successor. Jackson led a lifetime of crusades in the U.S. and abroad, advocating for poor and underrepresented on issues from voting rights and job opportunities to education and health care. He scored diplomatic victories with world leaders through his Rainbow Push coalition. He channeled cries for black pride and self-determination into corporate boardrooms, pressuring executives to make America a more open and equitable society. Jackson had his share of critics, of course, both within and outside the black community. Some considered him a grandstander, too eager to seek out the spotlight. Jackson, born 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, a star quarterback on the football team at Sterling High School in Greenville. He accepted a football scholarship from the University of Illinois, but he was told there that black people couldn't play quarterback. So he transferred to North Carolina A&T in Greensboro, where he became first-string quarterback, an honor student in sociology and economics, and a student body president. Arriving on the historically black campus in 1960, just months after students there launched sit-ins in whites-only lunch counters, Jackson immersed himself into the civil rights movement. By 1965, he joined the voting rights march that King led from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. King dispatched him to Chicago to launch Operation Breadbasket, a Southern Christian Leadership Conference effort to pressure companies to hire black workers. Jackson was with King on April 4, 1968, when he was shot. Jackson's account of the assassination was that King died in his arms, but that's disputed by other members of King's party that day, and Jackson is not shown in any of the photos of the shooting's aftermath.
Ooh.
1984, he apologized for what he thought were private comments to a reporter, calling New York City Hymietown, a derogatory reference to its large Jewish population. And in 2008, he made headlines when he complained that Barack Obama was talking down to black people in comments captured by a microphone he didn't know was on during a taping.
Yeah, but he was right.
He had influence abroad, too, meeting world leaders and scoring diplomatic victories, including the release of Navy Lieutenant Robert Goodman from Syria in 1984, as well as the 1990 release of more than 700 foreign women and children held after Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. In 1999, he won the freedom of 3 Americans imprisoned by Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic. Thank you very much, Rook. I appreciate that. I even practiced that one.
Slobodan Milosevic.
Among the tributes today, one from President Trump. Trump saying, "I knew him well long before I became president. He was a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. He was very gregarious, someone who truly loved people. Jesse was a force of nature like few others before him." Historians weighing in, John Meacham talking about Jackson on CBS Mornings, saying he was vital part of the freedom struggle. He called Jackson an enormously important figure between the 1960s era of the civil rights movement and the Obama era. Jesse Jackson was 84 years old. Excuse me. NAACP and other organizations asking a judge this week to protect personal voter info that was seized by the FBI from an elections warehouse just outside of Atlanta. Georgia residents entrusted the state with their, quote, sensitive personal information when they registered to vote, and the January 28th seizure of ballots and other election documents from the Fulton County Elections Hub breaches that guarantee, according to the NAACP. The motion asked the judge to order reasonable limits on the government's use of the seized data and to prohibit the government from using the data for purposes other than the criminal investigation cited in the search warrant affidavit. By the way, the FBI's agent affidavit presented to a magistrate judge to obtain the search warrant says the criminal investigation began with a referral from Kurt Olson, who advised Trump as he tried to overturn his 2020 election loss and now serves as Trump's Director of Election Security and Integrity. Gunman who killed 2 people and critically injured 3 others at a high school hockey game in Rhode Island on Monday afternoon has been identified as a transgender dad who railed against anti-trans hate in family legal disputes and deranged social media rants. 56-year-old Robert Dorgan, who shot 4 family members and a family friend before he turned the gun on himself following the deadly rampage at the Pawtucket ice rink, used the female alias Roberta Esposito, according to Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Goncalves. "We have identified the person," she said, "the suspect by a birth name, Robert Dorgan. We've also learned he went by the name of Roberta Esposito." The night before the suspect stormed the hockey tournament with a gun, he ominously replied, "Keep bashing us, but do not wonder why we go berserk," in response to an anti-trans X post. Dorgan was the father of North Providence High School senior who was taking part in the hockey tournament. He reportedly underwent gender reassignment surgery in 2020, according to court filings obtained by local station WPRI.
Did you see a picture of the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's all I asked.
So the son was playing in this tourney, and 4 other family members were there to watch him?
It was his ex-wife.
That's
and,
correct.
Yeah.
The fatal victims of
Okay.
the shooting, the
Okay.
mother
I
of
didn't
the
hear
son, and a student athlete.
And a good
sibling.
Samaritan went Rambo on the guy before he could shoot more.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, there was a post, too, from another parent that said that this guy was just off his rocker. He'd show up at games and just start lifting weights in front of everybody. It's like, what are you doing? Just
As,
sit down.
as a woman?
Yeah.
Roberta, no.
You know, this.
Go ahead.
No.
I know where you're going.
I looked up, is there any way to determine rates of violence committed by transgenders? And maybe that's not fair, maybe it is fair. But the only thing that you find is violence committed against transgenders.
Sure.
There is no,
Oh, interesting.
and perhaps there's nothing to be learned. I'm just suggesting. I was curious because it seems to me this has happened a few times.
Well, wasn't one of the first
Many times, actually.
the elementary school shooter that was trans,
in Tennessee,
who had a manifesto, and that was hidden from the public.
right? What about the Charlie Kirk shooter? No, he was just
nuts.
Yeah.
He had a
Or
trans
Annunciation.
Oh yeah, he had
pronunciation.
You're right, Johnny. Johnny's
Trans
right.
partner.
He had a trans partner.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And and the trans people say that's not representative of us, and there's no. I cannot find
Well,
any
they
material.
turn it around and blame it on firearms.
or blame it on people who don't like them.
Yeah, when it's a mental health issue.
I don't know if my kids would pose with me if I had that outfit on that Roberta had on.
If you were Josephina?
Yeah.
Josephine.
Kind of a tough. I'd have the bad hair.
Yeah.
I've got the hairy cleavage.
Yeah.
You need to get that,
Yikes.
who was it, Nipsey Russell wig? Who did that?
I don't know, man.
Who did the one that had the...
Flip
Geraldine?
Wilson?
Geraldine.
Flip
Who was
Wilson.
Flip Wilson.
See you
Tuesday.
It is.
A new nationwide survey of 21,000 Americans reveals 62% of adults reported using at least one pill in the previous 7 days, which works out to well over 100 million people nationwide. Even more startling, 1 in 6 Americans is juggling 5 or more medications weekly. About 3% of participants reported taking 10 or more different medications in 7 days. Medication use cuts across age groups, starting as early as middle age and climbing steadily. Older adults most likely to take the medications. Women use medication at higher rates than men, 67% compared to 57%. Acetaminophen counts as one that topped the list. Roughly 3 in 10 people took it during the week. Researchers asked about.
What is that, Tylenol?
Yeah.
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 Ibuprofen came in second and aspirin third. As far as prescription drugs go, the atorvastatin, the cholesterol-lowering drug sold as Lipitor, ranked 5th. Blood pressure medications lisinopril and amlodipine ranked the top 10. There's a thyroid medicine that ranks 7th.
I try to not take any pills.
Yeah.
There are some, but
Not even a vitamin?
I only
does a
do
vitamin
the ones,
count? Because I take vitamin D.
just the ones my cardiologist makes me take.
Yeah, that's
I've
what
been
I got.
handed at night. Is it magnesium?
Yeah, it's magnesium.
That's just
I've
to
been
keep you
mistakenly
quiet.
taking that in the morning. That's a nighttime.
Do you think she's putting that in my steak?
Yes.
too?
No, you got to. That helps you sleep, Matthew.
Okay.
Take the
I
magnesium
don't
at-
disagree. I trust her completely. It's,
Take it at night. Yep.
Okay.
She's
No,
right.
I wouldn't. I'd do. You better check that stuff.
if it's the blue one, I probably shouldn't take it, right? If it's white, take it.
It's helped me with my aches and pains, Joe.
It has?
Yeah, magnesium.
Magnesium
Yep.
is?
Yep.
All right.
okay. Interesting.
Well, Johnny, that's pretty interesting
You
stuff.
got her, John.
You want to hear some more about Jeff Baxter?
No, I don't.
I do. Let's go to break because I have a lot to talk about, John.
Before we do, I forgot to share this. Loyal Town Council member Paul, when we were talking about Walls and all the things earlier in the show.
Sure.
Isn't it funny that Walls was able to figure out how much money Minnesota lost in 30 days due to ice, but couldn't figure out $9 billion were stolen year
Amen.
after year after year. Paul, that is freaking brilliant.
He's right.
And he's 100% right. Okay.
guitar up at the ranch.
Guitar Ranch.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
You know what this country has a lot of?
Fraud.
Podcasts.
Watchdog groups.
Oh, sure, yeah.
We got a lot of watchdog groups.
What are we watching?
I came across one that I might like. A watchdog group has called for the removal of St. Paul school member Chantil Allen. She's shouldn't be on the school board. She's the one that fomented the fake race riot at a Japanese restaurant a couple of years ago. And she was among the people who went in the church to protest about ICE.
Okay.
But there's an organization called Democracy Restored. I looked them up. I don't know who they are. They must have local chapters. I can find nothing local about them. But America is a nation founded upon the belief that the people should have a say in how they are governed. Our governance is to be declined by the people in our... Our governance is to be decided by the people in our republic through their elected representatives. Article 2 of the Constitution begins, the executive power shall be vested in the President of the United States, officials, and employees of the federal executive branch who take an oath to uphold the Constitution are therefore subordinates to the President. In keeping with their obligations under the Constitution, what does that have to do with, this is who they are. It's a nonpartisan organization that exists to educate the public about how its government really works and how it far too often doesn't. We work to expose the actions of people, including unelected bureaucrats in our government that may be influencing policy against the wishes of the American people have expressed through their elected representatives. Okay. Anyway, they're against Chantil Allen. I couldn't be more supportive of being against Chantil Allen. The very thought of her having anything to do with the education of your children is appalling, but it just speaks to the uninformed voter, or you're just voting for political identity, in this case a black lesbian, I believe. I hope I'm not wrong. I think so. But she's not unelected. She's an elected member of the school board. And the Democracy Restored has called for her removal from her post because of her connection to the anti-ICE mob that stormed the city's church in St. Paul.
Get her ass off the board.
I wouldn't have her on the board. Now the Democracy Restored has asked the St. Paul Board of Education to remove her from her role. Under state law, school board members can be removed from their post by a vote of the school board's other members. I would find it not likely that the other board members would vote to remove her.
Probably.
They're
correct.
all of a mind. They're just activists. They have nothing to do with proper education. Anyway, go Democracy Restored if it gets rid of Chantil Allen, who's been a thorn in my side since the day she rigged the phony racial upset at a Japanese restaurant. She's not a valuable contribution to the common good of the city of St. Paul.
What was the circumstance there? Didn't her party sit down at a dirty table or something like that?
No, they sat down at a table. Then a waitress came over and asked them if they'd move to another table because the waitress did think the table was too cluttered. And she decided to make something of that and turned it into a racism.
The waitress or the server was trying to help.
The server was trying to get them a better table. And this...
let me upgrade you to first class, sir.
Yeah.
I won't have it.
This word I can't say, then immediately got on Facebook and summoned her friends to join her to cause a disturbance at the restaurant. The police came, found there was no disturbance. And it was just a pathetic example of her willingness to cause trouble where there isn't any.
Maybe the ray of hope or the silver lining is that some of these people will realize they can't make this stuff up. Like the lady that was the traffic gal that was upset that the cops took 12 minutes to get there when she was accosted or
I don't know that case.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know what you're talking
She
about.
was anti-cop, and then the cops took too long to come to her aid,
Oh.
and she wrote about that.
Oh, I
forget
vaguely
her name.
remember
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Say,
okay.
I wanted to share with the group something I discovered. I was looking up during the beginning of John's news. You were talking about the hotel, one of the hotels in downtown Minneapolis, the Canopy Hilton Hotel, and the liquor license.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, in my mind, I kept asking myself, why don't they just pull up stakes and leave? Why are they wasting their time trying to run a business in Minneapolis? So I Googled who owns the Canopy Hilton Hotel in Minneapolis, discovered it's Sherman Associates, based on 2nd and Park in downtown Minneapolis, and they own a ton of commercial buildings, apartments, hotels, and other buildings in the Twin Cities, in Duluth, in Iowa, and all over. So the people that the city council is trying to harm are fellow Minneapolis. What do you call them?
Minneapolitans. But why
yeah,
wouldn't
those
they have
people.
done their research?
Well, like Joe says,
Well,
they don't care. They don't care.
The world they live in has nothing to do with the success of other people. Nothing. Even though the success of other people tends to be success for more and more people.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Joe, think of all the people that Sherman Associates hire and have under their payroll or on their payroll.
We got a nice note from Krista Livingood in Western Maryland. Hail the Flashlight King.
Hail you!
It's a little better. I'm writing regarding John's mention towards the end of the show yesterday of the In Pursuit site that features a deep dive into the presidents by other presidents. I am not certain that you'll recall, but in the box of gifts that I sent prior to Christmas, one of the wrapped items was a small square box with the label of American History Tellers. Oh, Krista, you mean this one?
Yeah, see
that
right
I have
there.
on my desk right there? I made sure I got that one.
I'm surprised I didn't steal that one.
Yeah,
It was
I
down
know.
there.
It's a day-by-day tear-off calendar featuring historic events. For example, you want to know what today is?
Yeah.
Sure.
Today is what day?
Feb 17.
Feb 17. We should be right at
We invented
that.
the
He's
snowshoe.
right there. He opens
Feb
it up right to
17.
Feb 17.
1906. In a clash between labor unions and industrial interests, Idaho authorities and the Pinkerton Detective Agency arrested labor union leaders Bill Haywood, Charles Moyer, and George Pettibone. They were charged with assassinating former Idaho Governor Frank Steunenberg, who controversially helped break the 1892 Coeur d'Alene labor strike with a bomb. That was Feb 17. Right there, Krista. See this thing here? I love this thing.
If you watch us on YouTube, Chris.
As I mentioned before, your podcast is the only one I listen to daily. Prior to finding GL, though, I regularly listen to American History Tellers. The narrator and host is Lindsey Graham, not the political Lindsey Graham. Each season focuses on specific events. For example, when you were discussing the idea of tribes a few weeks ago, I decided to go back and listen to season number 8, which was a deep dive into political parties. Episode number 1 dealt with the time frame prior to and heading up to the development of the party system. Episode 2 focused on the early 1800s and the 1840s and so on. Another season is about the Cold War, and another is the California Gold Rush. And after watching Death by Lightning, the Netflix series about President Garfield, I went back and listened to the season about presidential assassinations, which provided more background and enlightenment. I know it's not for anyone, but just in case one of you is even remotely near the level of history nerd that I am, I highly recommend to listen. Hope you have a splendid week. Krista from Maryland, thank you. And there's your 2 top shows right there. GL and, what's that one called? American Storytellers.
Yeah. History Tellers.
History Tellers.
I just went and looked at their website. The current season's about St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 3 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Kenny, your Sherman Associates, I went down the rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
Not only are they environmentally conscious, they own 2 solar yards or gardens, acreages of solar, and so these people to rip their own people are shooting themselves in the foot.
I've tried to explain it the best I can.
Yeah.
You have, but it's just fun diving deeper and seeing who they're affecting.
It would be so much more fun if it wasn't real.
Yeah, no kidding.
But for our own day in history, we turn to the traveling Lymans.
There we go.
And it's only because these come to us all the way from Penguin, Tasmania, Australia. And you can follow the Lymans at worldwidewaftage.com. It was on this day,
February 17th.
in 1815, the Treaty of Ghent went into effect, formally ending the War of 1812. The treaty dictated the British must vacate posts located on U.S. soil, including those in present-day Minnesota. On this day,
Feb 17.
in 1881, Norman County was established. Although the name was believed to honor influential settler colonist Norman W. Kitson, it is now understood that Norwegian immigrants selected the name in remembrance of their homeland. On this day,
Feb 17.
in 1921, Sister Carmela Hange, principal of Cathedral School in St. Paul and a member of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, founded the School Safety Patrol in Minnesota, which became an international model for parochial and public institutions.
Is that true?
Yes.
I did not know that.
At first, a school police program for boys who served as guards, helping follow elementary school students across busy streets. Sister Carmela's enterprise inspired the organization of numerous programs that now include girl guards and bus patrols.
Who was one?
I wasn't. I had siblings that were.
I was not.
But
I had a motorcycle, so I didn't have to be a nerd like you two.
If you were in school in the St. Paul School District in the mid-'80s or early '80s, you were terrified of Lieutenant Winterhalter, who
You
was
couldn't catch me on my dirt bike,
guide.
Matthew.
My buddy Zach was a crossing guard. And
I'm not done with this.
His dad would be going to work every time, and so he knew his dad was going to be running late.
Yeah.
He just stood there and held the.
Oh, that's a kid after my own heart.
I like that
That's
kid.
a kid after my own heart.
Sorry, we got another kindergartner coming over
He's
here.
down the block, but he's on his way.
That's like my old man had a buddy at Mass, and he would hold the basket in front of the old man until he coughed something up.
Come on,
and just stand there.
Stab him with it a little bit. Hey, I got it up here.
This day,
Feb 17.
Come on, Bob.
on this day,
Feb 17.
in 1972, the U.S. Department of Justice filed a pollution suit against Reserve Mining Company, which operated a taconite plant on Lake Superior and dumped tailings contaminated with asbestos-like fibers into the lake. Lasting 5 years, the proceedings would be the nation's longest and most expensive environmental legal battle to that date. On this day,
Feb
Was that a
17.
Cerisi deal?
in Miles Lord.
Okay.
On this day,
Feb 17.
in 1998, the turtle racing capital of the world, got a shout out on the game show Jeopardy when host Alex Trebek read the clue, Longville, Minnesota is the capital for racing these reptiles.
I like turtles.
Yeah, turtle racing.
The slowest compete for the Grand Slowpoke title.
That's right.
That's
My
turtle
mother-in-law lives there, as does retired Polaris racer Levi LaValle.
festival. Really?
Yep. Longville is a wonderful little town.
Longville is where? Right up by St. Cloud?
It's south and east of Walker.
South and east, so between Walker and Brainerd.
Yeah, kind of, but off to the east. If you ride a motorcycle, you're going to want to ride from Pine River to Longville, and I think it's 84. Yeah. It's brand new. They just tarred it, and it is curvy and hilly and delightful.
Do you mean they just laid asphalt?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On this day in Minnesota
Thank
sports
you.
disappointment history.
17.
Yeah.
My father-in-law would be turning over.
Yes.
what-
That was a gaffe. I apologize.
What day is this?
Feb 17, Joe.
On this day in 1993, Roger Staubach squired
Oh,
Norm Green around Dallas, showing him the sights.
really bad.
And then that's where we lost our club to.
Sure did.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gio.
Oh, yes.
So not only did they steal our Super Bowl chances, they stole our hockey team.
That's right, because Drew Pearson pushed off.
Pushed off.
Hey, you guys had plenty of Super Bowl chances. Settle down.
Hey, do us a favor after you get done sending your hate mail to John Heidt. Hit the subscribe button on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. And you can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic, along with all of our social media channels. That includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That email comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.